Hey everyone, I'm doing a Ivan Milkovic documentary a little bit. He was a famous Yugoslavian, then Serbian opposite hitter back in the late 90s, 2000s, and he had a big influence on my career just because I was kind of a young kid watching him, and it's been a while here, so I'm just kind of putting together as much chronological video as I can find. So you might be asking yourself, why are we starting with this video and what is this exactly? Well, I don't know how I found this exactly, but right here is a young 16-year-old Ivan Milkovic. And it's some kind of training video that was in Yugoslavia at the time, filmed, and he was originally a setter, actually. I have heard this from many different people and Serbian teammates I had, that he was originally a setter as a young kid. So you can see here this says 1995, 1996 on the film study. So since he was born in 1979, that puts him at 15 to 16 years old. So still a decent development age. He's playing in a kind of a university training session with some adults. He has another game. There's another match I saw. He's here again. I saw, and it was basically more or less just looked like this. But this was the earliest I could find of him training and what he looks like. I'd say he looks about 6'5", extremely skinny. And it's amazing actually, because he goes from this at, let's say, 16 years old, he goes to the national team at 19 to 18, 19, 19 years old. So in 2 to 3 years, he's on the national team already as an opposite, going from setter to opposite. So this is an interesting training video. It just shows kind of different block moves, a couple of him hitting, and him playing. So, but it really gives kind of a young, really kind of insight on his young development here and how much he's actually changed. It's pretty interesting. So again, this was ranging from 1995 to 1996. So a 16-year-old Milkovic, the setter.
Može.
And you can see pretty much, even at a young age, he's very thin, but he's got a pretty explosive arm, especially for how thin he is. It's a pretty quick arm.
sad ti možda pucaš. Ovo ćemo sada da pošaljemo na banke. Za novu osobu škola polju.
Now you can see him here obviously setting, but as the outside hitter you can see kind of still keeps that traditional, not a huge mobile arm swing, double arm lift. It's very kind of compacted. It's just very interesting to see him at such a young age. I've never seen his videos before. I've never seen anybody else have them before. So. You can see him hit the right side. It's interesting because he has this very circular double arm lift. You can see it goes completely out sideways and then around. It's very circular, kind of, not pendulum style. So it's interesting because he's such a loose pendulum style now. So this is probably the youngest I've seen him hit on the right side video we can find here. Here's him setting a few back. So yeah, so an interesting 1995, 1996 beginning to his career as a kid, as a young teenager. Now this is the only video I could find from 1998 of him playing. He's actually not even playing, it's just one serve. I can't see anything else really. He's couldn't really find any game footage from 98. This is his first year on the national team. This was him hitting, you can see him hitting basically from the side view right there. So that's him right there. And you can see he's hit a pretty big growth spurt from this time period, from that last just 2 years before. So we can see him now here on the side, number 14 now, taking his position. Here we go. Here he is right there. still very thin, but looks to be a solid 6'8", 6'9" now, which he is 6'9", so he looks like he went from a 6'5" to 6'9" in this 2-year time period. And this is his only play I could find from 1988. This was the previous only thing I could find of him.
Što se tiče kadrovskog izbora, ali i maksimalno.
So that one serve right there, that's all I could find before.
Ali i maksimalno.
But I found that interesting too, because on this, he still goes out. I never noticed, because before he goes such back and forth so well. I never noticed how far out. When I first saw this, that's the first thing I noticed, was how circular his arm swing, his double arm lift was.
I maksimalno.
So this is it for 1990.
Ali i maksimalno zdrav. Verovatno ste tokom ovih prenosa i snimaka primetili jednu izuzetnu sigurnost kod naših igrača. Što se tiče njihovog tehničkog znanja, njihove spektakularnosti u igri, to su odlike koje su ih krasile i svih ovih sezona. Međutim, ta mentalna snaga koja izvire iz jednog kompaktnog tima je ono što fascinira sve. U svim zvaničnim bilteznima Svetske odbojkaške federacije kvaliteti Nikole Grbića i Vanje Grbića, Gorana Vujovića, Bateza, Meštera, Andrije Gerića i Đorđa Tanaskovića su upravo ta kompaktnost, da tim diše kao jedan. Istina, klupa.
As you can see listed here. 19 years old, 206 centimeters, Ivan Milkovic, 19 years old, so this puts it at 1998, since he was born in 1979.
U jugoslovenskoj reprezentaciji tanja nego li recimo kod Kubanaca, Brazilaca ili Italijana, jer Vušurović, Miljković.
I think there's one more hit he takes right here. I think this is him right there. That's pretty much it. So he brings his arm pretty straight up a little bit, but that's about all you can see.
Miljković, pa i Veljko Petković izuzetno su mladi igrači na ovako značajnim takmičenjima gde od jedne, dve greške i od jednog, dva poteza mnogo toga može da zavisi, da ono sve što se sabiralo, da se prospe, ne sme da rizikuje previše. Zoran Gajić uglavnom se Ovo je libero Italije.
Now here is the 1999 game that he gets subbed into in the first set. And this is before...
Selekcije Corsano bio je treći primaš na svetskom prvenstvu u Japanu. Nikola Grbić. Treća servis greška Jugoslavije. Papi je pokušao, veoma nezgodna dijagonala, 17-13. Sada je ovo već nezgodna prednost italijanskog tima. S ovim novim pravilima gde nema promena, gde se igra do 25 poena, nije lako nadoknaditi razliku, pogotovo kada su u pitanju Italijani i kada oni vode. 18-13. Ovaj upijač gravine bio je potpuno nepotreban. Jednostavno nemamo rešenja za prvi tempo italijanske selekcije. Odlični su i u bloku, takođe do Panu, i tamo je već pokazao svoje dobre strane. Na evropskom prvenstvu nije mnogo igrao, ipak je korektor prvi Vladimir Batez, međutim Bateza dobro poznaju Italijani, uostalom on je i tamo igrao. Nepoznanica je Miljković, u ovim trenucima pokazuje se kao dobro rešenje. Sjajno je servirao već 2 puta i 3. put Samo da se sada odbrani. Sa druge strane, Ivan Miljković.
I mean, to see the difference between 2 years is pretty impressive here. I mean, you grow 4 inches and coordination.
Sa druge strane, Ivan Miljković dobro rešava ovu poziciju. Papi i Gardini nisu spojili dvojni blok i
from 1999. So he still looks like a pretty young guy here. This is all before the 2000 Olympics. All right, now he's turned 21 and it's into the 2000. And this is kind of where he started kind of taking off, where they beat Italy in 3 in the semifinals and they beat Russia in 3 in the finals. So there he is again. Here is again the 2000 Olympic final. And I have a whole video of him in just the Olympic final, all his attacks. So if you want to see just the Olympic final attacks, you can check out the other video, but just giving you a look. There he was, played amazing. Just trying to give you a look of what he looks like and what kind of his technique looked like. So now fast forward 2002, we have a world championship. He's playing Brazil. He's pretty much established himself as one of the best opposites in the world at this point. This is a really interesting game. It's a super late dynamic game. It's match point, but you can see him now getting a little bit stronger. He's put on some weight, put on some strength, got the shaved head look, a little bit more serious. Buries this ball in the antenna, but it's not really about his plays, this video. It's more about just a chronological time of him. So here he is again on the outside. And yes, this is Serbia and Brazil had some great matchups, some great games. Was really competitive for a long time in the early and late 2000s, basically the all 2000s here. So now we get into 2005. And he got kind of injured. He was in the hospital for the 2004 Olympics in Athens. I'm not sure exactly what was wrong with him, but he missed most of the 2004 Olympics due to those issues. So Serbia or Yugoslavia, Serbia at the time, broken up because it was earlier Yugoslavia, ended up losing in the quarterfinals, I believe. So this is 2005, though. This is where he's really one of the top players in the Italian Pro League. And he's getting pretty strong here. He's kind of put on some weight. This is kind of pretty much the Miljković that we kind of currently saw for a good 10-year run here. That compacted left to right approach, kind of really got his own style. Before he was still kind of new to the game. Here he just looks very in control, very good style, has his own personal taste. Very step close kind of guy, a two-step guy. Inside out approach, two-step guy. All right, so that was around 2005, 2006. Now we're getting into the 2008 Olympics. This is Beijing here. Again, we're getting a good look at what he physically and visually looks like, so. All right, so this is 2009 now. This is basically all now 2009.
Первая его попытка атаковать в темп не попадает. Главное, изначально он был настроен на обманный удар. Очень часто он их исполняет первым темпом. Стесняется это делать. Кто-то высоченный какой тащит мяч с пола в защите и Мурила.
Here he is playing in Greece. Greece was a great league for a while there. You can see the amount of foreign players on each side. It was a super top level league. He was in Italy for a long time, then he went to Greece, then he played in Turkey, then he went back to Italy, then he finished in Turkey. So here he is, some Greek highlights. This is him pretty much in his late 20s. This is 2009 now, so this is pretty much the end of his. This is a peak, pretty much end of his career here, peak time. It is interesting to see that kind of young kid hitting on the left side and then seeing these. It's very similar kind of approach a little bit. That really slow to fast, very short run up. Here's again on the national team in 2009 here. Back in Greece. Here he is in Greece again. This is still a shot from the 2008 Olympics. That ball is hammered on. Here is about 2009, now 2010 World League. This is pretty much one of his last, second to last, I believe, World Leagues for the national team. Here he is in his last season on the national team. He got some gray hair quickly. He didn't really get that much older. He just got some gray hair pretty quickly, so it made him look a lot older than he really was. I had actually the opportunity to see him play live once. I was playing in Qatar, and he came and played for Al Rayyan, this club team they bring in for the for their final cups. They bring in the player, and I got to see him live and stand next to him, and you know, it was really kind of an interesting moment because I'd seen him play so much on TV and grow up watching him. But he was a really interesting player. He warmed up for a very long time. It was interesting. He warmed up for he's just a really interesting athlete, like really good work ethic, like unbelievably hard-working athlete, really strong player. He warmed up for so long at such a high level, doing like sprints and stretches and movements and all these things. I remember it being very impressive. And then his warm-up hits were really high, hard hits to the lines, very deep lines, and then he crushed a couple, and he just stretched for about 50 minutes after. It was quite interesting. It was really interesting to see him live in person. He was the hardest pepper player I've ever seen. I mean, just unloading on balls to his partner. It was crazy. So no, it was really fun to watch him live, actually, and nobody was really there because it's in Qatar, and so it was an Emirates Cup kind of thing, and I got to sit right there, and it was interesting. So he played in Turkey for a while for Fenerbahce, and then he came back for Lube Bakasitanova for a good kind of year with Micah Christensen, and it was kind of like the last. This is him right here for this team, Citanova. It was kind of his last run for an Italian league championship. They brought him back, brought kind of an older super team together. Here, this is about 2011, 12. So it's definitely, this is his last year. He had been playing in Turkey and he came back for 1 year. So he's in his 30s here, his mid 30s here, mid to late 30s. So this is an interesting skit. I found this somehow also. This is, he played for Halbank, Ankara in Turkey. And I believe this is the last match of his career playing ever. This is the championship match. And I believe this is the last play of his career, so.
Şampiyonluk sayısını alabilecek mi? Dejan Minčić, dik koy, blockout ve Halkbank şampiyon. Halkbank dik koyun sayısıyla şampiyonluğu elde ediyor. Bu set 16 dakika sürdü. Seti 15-10 kazandı Halkbank ve maçı 3-2 galip bitirdi. Böylece Efeler Ligi'nde 2016-2017 sezonunun şampiyonu oluyor Halkbank. Gözyaşları içinde bir dünya yıldızı Ivan Miliković, 38 yaşında Ivan Miliković şampiyonluk için gözyaşları döküyor. Halkbank adına sevgili seyirciler, set skorları ekranlarınıza geliyor. İlk set 25-19 Halkbank'ın, ikinci set 25-23 Arkas'ın, üçüncü set 25-18 Halkbank'ın, dördüncü set 25-14 Arkas'ın oldu. Karar setini 15-10 kazandı Halkbank ve İzmir'de şampiyonluğunu ilan etti. Biraz sonra spor akşamı sizlerle olacak ama şampiyonluk törenini spor akşamının içinde izleyebileceksiniz sevgili seyirciler. Murat Mert Yücekök yorumlarıyla.
So from the young kid to the old man, leaves a champion.
Bizlerle oldu. Az sonra yeniden sizlerle olacağız. Şimdilik kameralarımız Ankara'da, merkez stüdyolarımız.
Amazing. So it's quite an interesting journey even making this, because it's kind of spanned my lifetime. I was probably a 14-year-old kid when I watched him in the Olympics first, and then seeing this video actually I found pretty recently of him last game, and just seeing kind of the career and putting it all into perspective. It is an interesting kind of journey, and it's pretty cool. You know, he had a really nice career and was very famous. Now he works in the Serbian Volleyball Federation, but for a while there he was the best player in the world with Jiba, and he was the best attacker a lot of times, and best score, most MVP attacker, score point maker in these World League, World Championships. They always would battle out. So I kind of grew up watching that, those rivalries, that Brazil-Serbia rivalry a lot. So that really shaped my kind of early knowledge of the game, and thought it was, good for other people to see his career too. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.